one.
Good morning, beautiful people. This is Friday Night Lights on Air. We're the students of the game, and class begins now. Oh, here we are. What a beautiful morning. I'm your host, Gentry and Jett, and this is the all SAA defensive back, Jett Wilson.
I was an honorable mention. Don't do that. Don't do that. Hey, you know who's all producer? Producer Chuck.
I got one producer Chuck.
How about that intro?
That's a great new intro. Looking good. Shout out producer Chuck. He can give the weather. He can edit our videos, and he can do our theme song with a new intro. That's just a jack of all trades right there. I mean, my comp for him is like a. Am I allowed to give a comp for producer Chuck? All right, give me like an offensive weapon like Denard Robinson, okay? He can play quarterback. He moved to the NFL, played receiver, played running back. He's a just do-it-all jack of all trades. Versatile, like Danny Woodhead out of Shadron State, played for the Patriots. Okay, here we go. Jett, how are we feeling today?
I'm feeling great, man. Fantastic.
I mean, what a statement win it was for those Franklin Admirals. Before we get into the game, because we want to get into this game, if you're watching on YouTube, please feel free to like and subscribe. You are also on Apple Podcasts. We're also on Spotify if you want to listen to us. And we're on Instagram as for a one-stop shop for everything. A hub, on Arsenal, at Students of the Game TN, and at studentsofthegametn at Gmail. You can email us questions. Jett, we actually got our first question.
We did get our
email.
first question.
We're going to answer it in the next episode, the preview episode, so that we don't take away from what these boys did tonight.
Exactly.
Because we want to focus on these boys.
Okay.
Now, Jett, the Franklin hosted Nolensville, and they punished them for coming to town. I mean, a final score of 32-3. Jett, give me your thoughts after this statement for the Franklin Admirals.
I'm just super proud of the boys.
So
man.
proud,
The way they
yes.
stepped up from the first snap of the game. We're playing aggressive, playing tough. I'll tell you, those Nolensville buses were getting out of there quickly.
Oh, were they?
Quickly. Dude, they were out before the field. The buses were leaving. So they were trying to get out. I'm excited to see the boys defend their home field. Teams aren't going to want to walk into Franklin and think that they can just run the place like they have the past couple of years. Now, Franklin's a tough place to play.
That's right. That home field advantage. And I know Nolensville's had a good season, and they've had Franklin's number the past 2 years. So I feel like they felt like they were going to walk in and just kind of be almost a trap game for them. But no, they punched them. I mean, it was getting chippy out there. There were some personal fouls. There was some smack talking. Some of our coaches know some of their coaches. Apparently, some of the coaches were chirping a little bit before the game. Okay, so it was all around. But don't worry, if you come to Franklin, nobody's going to let you get away with chirping like that without feeling it. So it puts us at 3-2, going into hosting Summit next week with a chance to go 4-2, leading into probably the biggest game of the year, Brentwood. But I don't want to get too ahead of myself. Yeah. I want to dive into this game because it was such a special feel. You know what I mean? Yeah. When we talked to the boys after the game, and you can just tell about just their confidence and the aura around them. It was just a different feel. I mean, even when we got the chance to see them last night before the game, you could tell it's just a different feel than the years past.
Yeah, this is a special team. I think they have the opportunity to accomplished a lot of great things this year. I'm just excited to watch them for the rest of the year.
So let's go diving into play-by-play, okay? So I know it's going to be a good night when you're up in under those beautiful Franklin lights. And Nolensville's first drive ends in a Sean Gaka interception.
Let's go,
so
Gok.
Shout out Gok, baby.
Gok.
Shout out Gok. So when we get, and he was balling all night.
Oh, Gok's a monster.
And so and really we think it's a touchback as he gets it, he intercepts it right before the end zone, and we thought his momentum took it for a touchback, but it lands in the 2-yard line. So Jett, it's kind of like euphoria, and then we're down to 2-yard line. What are your thoughts?
It's a fourth down. It was fourth down.
Yeah, it was third or fourth down. Yeah, third or fourth down. Yeah.
Either way, it's kind of like, man, you're never gonna knock on a guy for getting an interception ever.
No, 100%.
It's just the way that it happened. You're like, wow, now we're on the 2-yard line. It's a tough place to be for the offense. You're kind of in the danger zone. But Gok responded. He got us right out of it. First play, had like a 15-yard rush.
Yes, it was great blocking up front, and he just has such great vision and everything. And he got us some breathing room, and we were kind of waiting because for the first couple drives for Franklin, they kept running the ball, even though we kind of thought they might take the momentum from last week's passing attack into this game. But then this is the drive they started airing it out. They actually go 12 personnel, which is 2 tight ends, max protect, and have a 1 receiver route where this ball was getting thrown up to Wills Jackson, or it was just a busted play. And what happened, Jett? I mean, beautiful throw, beautiful catch.
Yeah, Wills made a great over-the-shoulder catch on the sideline.
Beautiful bucket throw by Brewer.
Right, Brewer just put it in a spot where his guy was going to go get it, and he trusted Wills, and Wills made the catch.
Yeah, exactly. You don't get the nickname the greatest throwman by throwing it out of bounds. You get that nickname by dropping it right into the bucket. So we put together Franklin, which I don't remember the last time this has happened, and you Franklin faithful can correct me if I'm wrong. We put together a 98-yard touchdown drive that ends with a Jalen Springs touchdown. And I heard in the stands you called this. You were talking to Jay Springs, Mama Springs, okay, and you kind of called this. You said Jalen anytime first TD score is what I heard. Is this true, Jett?
Jalen's a beast. Anytime you get him close to the end zone down there, I think he's got a good chance. And I got the pleasure of meeting his mom before the game. Very nice lady. It was great to talk to her. Happy for Jalen and his family.
And Jett, how good was it to see them for the first time when we thought they were dead? The maroon jerseys. How good
the
the boys
maroon jerseys for homecoming, man. It was awesome.
They
pulled the maroon jerseys out of the shadow box for the seniors. They were like, we need the maroons this season. We'll give them back to you after the season.
Oh, my goodness.
So shout out to the old players who were cool giving their jerseys back.
Absolutely.
Glad we could see them rock the maroon.
100%, because that's the traditional, like that maroon jersey is a classic. So we get up 6-0. We line up for the 2-point conversion. And in the first game, remember, if we're journeying back to Centennial, we do a failed 2-point conversion off of this kind of fake read that Sean has. And this time, though, learning from his past mistake when he didn't get it, he took this ball, and last time he threw it, but no, he's keeping it on his own, right? He said, I want this ball in my hands.
Gok wanted the rock.
Gok wanted the rock. I like that. Hey, yeah, come on.
On the fly.
On the fly. That was impressive. Wow, okay, all right. SNL's going to become a calling.
1 out of 100.
Hey, if you bat 300, you're in the Hall of Fame, pal. You're doing all right. Okay, so we get up 8-0 here, and then Nolensville, we really, in my opinion, we stop them on like a really good 3-and-out, but they do get bailed out with a pass interference call. Jay Little, I thought it was good. It was really good coverage. He just didn't get quite his head turned around in time from what I saw, but still, he was able to kind of swat the ball down, which in my opinion, I thought they might hold the flag. Jay, talking about that pass interference call, you're a DB. Talk to me that situation he finds himself in.
So Jay Little's in a new position too. He moved to safety.
Great point.
He was the down safety playing the curl flat. So he's lined up over the slot receiver, and his job is to break back and get like that comeback range, the 10-yard out route range between the numbers and the sideline. And he kind of came up a little bit chasing the quarterback, remembered his zone, and turned around to find the receiver behind him. Did a great job getting to the receiver. It's a tough play. It's a tough time to turn your head around because you have to turn your entire body to get your head around from the angle he was at. I thought he got there right when the ball was. He deflected the ball.
He did.
Didn't make a lot of contact with the receiver. I thought it was a clean play.
And Jay, you made a great comment in the stands. You said people should be yelling ball at him to help him with that turnaround. Does that really help as playing DB? Does that really?
1,000,000%.
Okay.
You have no idea if that ball is coming. And just hearing that from the sideline, that's something that we worked on in practice.
Yeah, 100%.
When the ball's in the air, the corner's got his back turned to the ball. Everyone screams ball. Just give him that heads up. It's coming. It's nice to know that it gives them that extra backup from the teammates.
Absolutely, and that happens to NFL DBs. Yeah. Like if they don't hear it, they'll get their head turned around. So if it's going to happen in the NFL, it's going to happen at this level. And so really, not too much you can blame Jay Little on that. Like you said, new position, but still that kind of bails him out. And the defense ends up holding. Bend don't break. The Fangio 6, right? We talked about that. AKA the doctor. I'm going to nickname that new name the Doctor Defense 6. Really, come on now. And so. Bend don't break. They end up kicking a field goal. So even though after they ended up getting points, I'm still feeling pretty good, Jay. Would you agree? We're up 8-3 at this point.
For sure. I mean, when our defense is not letting up touchdowns, getting red zone stops, and letting Nolensville get field goals, that is a win every single time.
Absolutely. So we end up getting stopped and on 3-and-out, and we line up to punt deep in our own territory. And this is when it starts getting a little nervous because there was a miscommunication or something with the snap. The long snapper back to the punter. And Wayne Wells, who's been crushing both the kickoffs and the punts, he bobbles it and saves the possession, doesn't let anything worse happen, but he has to drop and he gets pretty much sacked. So they get the ball pretty much at the 10-yard line. But Jett, with 4 chances with 4th and goal, what does Dr. Defense and his defensive army do?
Man, this defense is a wall.
It is.
They are so fun to watch in and out every single week. And this was a huge moment in the game. We're up 8-3 at this point. They get the ball, I think it was at the 7-yard line.
Yeah.
With a chance to take the lead in the second quarter.
Right. I mean, it's a 1-possession game.
It's huge stand by the defense. And I think they got to like the 3-yard line on 2nd down. So that's 2nd down, 3rd down, 4th down.
Oh,
this defense stood strong.
I love it.
Against the Wildcat.
They do, yes.
And that's one of those plays that we had against Page.
Yes.
Where we ran the ball with them knowing we were going to run the ball. It's just a mano-a-mano.
Yep.
Nolensville did the same thing to us. Our guys versus your guys. I dare you to stop us.
Yes.
And the defense stepped up.
And so much so that when they did that on 3rd down, they tried to do it again on 4th down, but because our defense was so strong, it ended up the quarterback was looking at the defense so much, the Wildcat quarterback, he bobbled the snap, and so we get that on our side because they're spooking them. I think I love the name. There's no better nickname out there than Dr. Defense. If I were to give him another nickname, he'd be the Secretary of Defense. You know what I mean? Okay, just because there is nothing getting past him in that defense. Okay,
if he didn't have the best nickname of all time,
he did.
Maybe we should call him Aiden Elmore.
No.
Just a nugget. We'll see.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Aiden's mom came up to me after the game, Mama Elmore, and she said, "Gentry,
great.
I agree with Jett. The nickname's too mouthy, so watch out for by the time our walkthrough episode happens, Aiden's going to be getting a brand new nickname for Mama Elmore and everything. And that's actually not the only one. Jacob Dykstra's mom." Again, controversial nickname, and so I think we called him. The boys call him J Dyke. Apparently, he's German, so she likes the nickname Jakob. Okay, so we might be so we might do 2 podcast recordings. One where we use J Dyke for the boys, and then one where we use Jakob that gets sent to just his mom. Okay, so that everybody's okay and everybody's happy. Does that sound like a good plan?
That sounds good.
All right, good. Okay, all right.
Let's get back
to the X's and O's here. Okay, so we get the stop on 4th down. And again, Jett, let alone it happening once, I don't remember it happening twice, where Franklin puts together a 90-plus yard touchdown drive. And the way they got down there was another great up the sideline, deep ball bucket pass to Wills Jackson. And he makes a great catch on this one because the DB has a good jump on it. And really, in the football rules, kind of like in baseball where tie goes to the runner, when both the receiver and the DB have it and it's kind of 50-50, the tie always goes to the offense and the receiver. So really all you got to do, good job for Wills to never give up on the play. And even though it looks like it's an interception, he knows, hey, the tie goes to me. I just got to get in there and wiggle this ball around. Jett, what were your thoughts? Great catch on this to get us down there.
Insane catch by Wills. He went up and just made a play. That's Brewer and these receivers have so much chemistry they've built from playing years and years together.
Yeah, so true.
Trust his receiver. He made the play. He told me after the game, I think it's a great quote. He said, "I didn't catch it. I took it." He did not. The corner had. That's a quote.
Yeah. On the record.
Primary source.
Not allegedly. Not allegedly. On the record.
Yeah. Fact. But he really did do a great job.
Yes.
Receiver or cornerback had his hands on the ball. Wills just went in there and he just wanted it more than the other guy.
Okay, I love that. Well, Jett, so obviously now that you're doing interviews after the game, I'm open for a lot more quotes after that. And then it ends with a touchdown by Gaka. I mean, come on.
Great play call.
Great play call. So they spread everybody out, and the receivers, Gaka lines up at running back, and then they kind of send a blitz, and Gaka kind of bluffs like he's going to block, and then kind of runs not necessarily all the way up the seam, kind of just gets free up the middle. Leaked out. That's a great word to use. And then, I would even say, Brewer just kind of floated it over the edge.
Saw him.
You're right. He just kind of knew he was there. To that chemistry point you talked about, they've been playing for so long.
Fifth grade flag
since
football.
5th grade flag football. I heard they had some pretty good coaches on that team. Allegedly. Classic. All right. That's for our studio audience. You're loving that, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So he just kind of floats it up there, and God catches it and just walks in the end zone. I mean, there's nobody there. Great play design, great play call. However, it went down. We're up 15-3, and they get the ball back. Okay, Nolensville puts together a little bit of a drive right before the half. They're going 2-minute drill. They get to about the Franklin's 35 to 40 yard line, and they get to a 4th and 10. They've got no timeouts left with about 17 seconds on the clock before halftime. And we're arguing in the stands. Jed and I don't disagree about much when it comes to football, but we had a little back and forth. I said, oh my goodness, I'd punt the ball. Jed's going, I'd go for it. I'd say, oh, I'd punt the ball. Jed's going, I'd go for it. And what happens? Franklin, they decide to go for it, and Franklin makes them pay. Tommy King gets a sack fumble, and Jed, I thought one of this defensive linemen, I don't know if you know who it was, but I thought he was going to scoop and score, but he decides to play it conservative and jump on it, but we recover nonetheless.
I don't think it was a conscious decision to jump on it. I think it was a C-ball. I've never touched a ball in my life before. I'm just going to jump on it.
It's a defensive lineman mindset.
Exactly. And that's not, from our angle in the stands, we can see he's got so much. He's going to scoop and score. He doesn't know what's going on around him. So I understand the play, and it kind of worked out for Franklin.
And you know why? Well, they say ball don't lie, and that should have been a scoop and score, and the ball don't lie. So what happens? We line up around the 50, and Jett, normally defenses do more of a prevent defense. They have kind of 3 people way back and over the top, but Jett, Nolensville decides to leave number 3, aka Lucas Young, aka Nico Collins, 1-on-1 for the last play of the half. And Jett, I want you to talk me through this play from a standpoint. What happens when there's last play of the half?
See, we're up there with Carson
Young. Shout out Carson. Lucas's older brother, another stud player at Franklin.
We're all up there like, throw it to Lucas. What
else would you do? Come on.
He's 70-30.
Yeah, he's 75. Yeah, exactly.
75-25. Throw the ball to 75-25. I think he was actually in double coverage injury. When I went back and watched the film on Twitter, he just outran the guy so bad it looked like single coverage.
That's what he gets
So you see instantly Lucas takes off. He ran track in the spring. He's up to speed. He had that sprinter speed.
Brewer trusts him.
Brewer's looking at him. Brewer knows exactly who he's throwing to. Throws a great ball.
Beautiful ball.
He's got a great deep ball. One that Lucas just go up there and pluck out of the air, man.
Yes. He puts it vertical for Lucas to use his athleticism to go up and get it. And then Lucas goes up and snags it. And as he's coming down, he starts stumbling and bumbling. And we don't think he's going to make it to the end zone. But he hits a little L down on the right here. And then, man, he puts that palm down, stays up, and kind of puts a one last-ditch effort and dives into the end zone for the last play of the half. What a play. And like you just said, Jett, you said 75-25. As everybody's still screaming, I hear John Young, his dad, yelling. I hear 80-20, 80-20. I said, well, he looks over. What he says, Jett? He says 80-20. So, Jett, we get boosted up to 80-20. Congratulations.
80-20.
Now, he came after the game. Lucas came up after the game. This is a direct quote. He goes, give me 90-10. I said, easy. All right, eyes.
It's week 5. Okay, come on.
But 80-20 is 80-20. He does deserve that.
He's a monster.
So we go into half 22-3. Talk to me about your thoughts when we're up 22-3. And Jett, in the past couple of years, we have not found ourselves feeling this way a lot. So,
the way that this team has started off the last 2 games, these guys are hot. They're coming out of the gate. Props to Coach Adkins for having those guys ready 100%. To play. Vibes are high, man. The defense is balling out.
Oh, yeah.
Huge goal line stand. Offense is making plays on the ground, making plays in the air. The dogs up front are keeping Brewer Wilson off the grass. He didn't get tackled one time tonight. Feeling great going into the second half.
Absolutely. So I couldn't agree more. Super proud of the way the boys were playing, and to have that momentum going into the half is just huge. Ball don't lie. So now we come out in the second half, and Nolensville was moving the ball on this one kind of style of play. Not the same exact play, but it was kind of an RPO flat that we talked about actually in the pregame. Right. They did it a lot. They had number 12. He was kind of twitchy. The guy, their main receiver, was out, and so that limited their options offensively. They were kind of just dumping it off to number 12 in the flats, and he was making some moves. He was shifty. He was feisty, but Donnie defense comes out, makes those second half adjustments, and they tried to run that flat play twice. Tommy almost one hand picks one off, and it was unbelievable. And then I think it was like Jay Little came up and made like a tackle on the other one. So Donnie defense making that adjustment and the second half to stop that flat play. Just beautiful to see.
Yep.
We haven't seen that in a long time, and that's why he's the Secretary of Defense right there.
Absolutely.
And so
Tommy was flying around.
Tommy was flying around tonight, and I absolutely love to see it. Maybe playing a little bit of offensive running back on offense got him juiced up a little bit on defense, which I absolutely love. Okay, so we get the ball back, and we drive the ball down the field, and we end up kicking a field goal. Okay, so we'll take it for, I think, first field goal really of the. I don't remember us kicking it. So I'm glad to see it kind of put through.
I think that a lot of fans want to touch on there. We're already up big. I don't think it's bad ever to get the operation.
Take the points.
And get the field goal team some reps. I think
great point.
This team is special, and I think they have a chance to win a lot of games this year. But they're not always going to be like the last 2 weeks of game. We're going to have close games like we did week 1 against Centennial.
Absolutely, 100%.
And we got to have confidence in our field goal unit at the end of the game to go out there and make a big play. So I think it's good to get those reps, too, in a game that we're very comfortable with the score.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. That's a great point. And I think that in the NFL, in college, and all levels of football, they say you always want to end a drive with a kick, whether it be an extra point, a field goal, or a punt. No turnovers, right? You always want to end a drive with a kick. And so I agree with you. Getting them reps is great because how many times are you watching on Saturdays and really Sundays where it comes down to the field goal unit? I mean, the game is literally in the balance of them. So I think the more reps they can get, the better. So I think that's a great point to you. And then our defense stops them again. I mean, this is just it was beautiful to watch. So we get the ball back up 25-3, and Brewer he had a great scramble throw last week.
That was great.
And Jett, I want you to really kind of talk me through this because we kind of felt like the same thing. We're driving down, we get around midfield, and they motion Gaka out to receiver, and he runs a corner route, and Brewer scrambles, and Gaka's open on the corner, but Brewer wanted more than that, right? That's the greatest throwman isn't going to settle for an easy route. So, Jett, talk to me about what Brewer does with Gaka on this play. Talk about that chemistry.
I think so. They motion Gaka out. Linebacker drops out to cover him. Brewer knows. Sean knows. They got a linebacker man.
Which is a mismatch alert. Mismatch alert. Are you kidding me?
Instantly, I'm throwing it to 5.
Yes.
Brewer rolls out right, gives himself some room. Gak's got his guy beat by 10 yards, but he's running towards the sideline. And Brewer can see from his angle where Gak can't see that if he just turns up, he's going to catch so much space for a touchdown. So he's kind of telling Gak, go further. He knows Gak's open. He could hit him right now for a 25-yard gain. But these guys are explosive, dude. They're starting to want more.
I love it.
He's telling this guy, keep going. Throws the ball where Gak can go get it. Gak makes a great adjustment to the ball in the air. Beautiful catch over the shoulders, about a 40-yard completion. Just a great play. Two great players.
And my first thought is how effortless did Brewer make that throw look? I mean, we've watched him for a long time, and you could tell. Sometimes you can just tell it was in his zone. Like he was just in the zone. He was hot because he made that look so effortless to scramble out like that, keep his eyes downfield the whole time, direct traffic, see the whole field, and then execute the throw on the run. I mean, after he made that throw, we had people turning around to us in the stands, giving him NFL comps for NFL QBs. Okay, we don't know how good they were, but you'll have to wait till good comp, bad comp for one of those. And so, but they were just telling us, that looked like this NFL QB, that looked like this NFL QB, and it was a great play, and I couldn't agree more.
15 is playing with a lot of confidence right now,
and we love that.
To watch.
It is fun to watch. I couldn't agree more. And so we then get up to the goal line. It ends up being like 3rd or 4th down, and we run kind of a similar play to what Nolensville's been running all night with that little RPO flat play. We fake the inside zone, and the receivers block outside. Jay Flynn, the tight end. Let's go, Jay Flynn. Man, come on now, Jay Flynn. He slips out. We throw it to him, and then his lumberjack body lowers his shoulder and gets in the box for the first time, I think, really all season that counted, right? Am I right about that? So congratulations to Jay Flynn getting in the box. Let's clap it up for Jay Flynn in there.
You're not tackling Jay Flynn with the first guy.
Nah, the first guy. And if you do bring him down, it's probably taking more than one people just to even get him on the grind.
He had a couple really good catches. I love getting Jay Flynn the ball.
Oh, in space? Are you kidding me? Because he's just like a wrecking ball out there. I mean, it is beautiful to watch. And so that puts us up 32-3, and then for the first time, Well, I don't remember last time this happens. We pulled the starters there, and so
almost the whole fourth quarter.
Almost the whole fourth quarter, we were getting to see some reps of the backup guys, and they held their own.
I really can't remember a time that Franklin pulled their starters.
I mean, it's been a long time. I had people asking me kind of like when the last time was happening, and I was like, maybe we'll put it up as like one of those Aflac trivia questions or something, because that's what
be a good
my father-in-law was like, you need an Aflac trivia question. When's the last time this happened? And so shout out there. And so Jett, now that kind of concludes the game. We win 32-3. Talk to me. Do you have any specific players? I want you to go through the defense, and then I'm going to have a little special announcement at the end. Who we're going to have it. We've talked a lot about. We've revealed the Big Bad Breakfast player of the week, but we're going to predict who we think the Big Bad Breakfast player of the week is going to be after you do some shout-outs. Does that sound like a good plan?
Yeah,
okay, do who are you shouting out?
Where I want to start is this defense.
Yes, sir.
No, I'm a defensive guy, so I'm never going to forget the defense. Nolensville, in their first 4 games of the year, put up 24, 33, 38, and 42.
What?
Tonight, against your Franklin defense, they put up 3
Here
points.
we go, baby.
3 points.
Let's go. Clap that up. There we go for our studio audience.
Full team effort, top to bottom, D-line, linebackers, DBs. I'm going to shout out all the guys I saw in there tonight because every single person on that defense deserves to have their name called.
Okay.
Give me Jalen Little. Give me Thompson King. Aiden Elmore. Andrew Dixon. Sean Gaka, Tegan Lee,
Here we go.
Luke Thompson, David Domingo, Aiden Domingo, Walker Wells, Jacob Dykstra, Durham Queen, Santino Bruno.
Here we
Those
go.
guys,
Clap it up.
The
Clap it up.
ball tonight, flying around the field, playing with a lot of confidence.
I love it.
It's so much fun watching these guys play.
I love watching Luke Thompson just flies around the field. He's just so fun, offensive and defensively. A lot of these guys can be two ways, but I think especially Luke Thompson and Tommy King. Really, Luke Thompson both ways. Absolutely. Don't forget about, just in the trenches, Durham, the king of Queen. I mean, come on, just beautiful to watch. And so one of my favorite things I want to kind of tack onto this defense is watching Dr. Defense up 32-3. Oh, yeah. Okay, you ready for this?
Yeah,
up 32. We heard Tucker Cathy a couple games ago, but the Dr. Defense, we have a couple players get personal fouls, and Dr. Defense was just as upset about that if we were down 32-3. He let those guys hear it because with Dr. Defense, it's the principle, right?
Yep.
You're coaching and you're building a culture, right? And so yes, the scoreboard absolutely matters. It's the most important thing, but also it's how you play, right? Yep. And so penalties, that cost us 15 yards because what he's doing is he's instilling those boys, hey, we're up 32-3. You might get away with it, but I'm going to treat it as if we were tied because when we are tied, and that could really cost us the game. And so we look over, and not only is Dr. Defense getting in their ear, they're doing up downs on the sideline mid-game, Jett. Did you love that? That fired me up.
Absolutely. And it's something that you see on Saturdays. I think we got used to seeing Nick Saban do that.
Yes, exactly.
After a big win, he's at the interview, and everyone's like, why is he so pissed
upset
off right now? And it's because to be great, you got to always be holding yourself to the standard.
I love that.
And it's always about improving in all facets. So shout out to Dr. Defense for always holding his players to a championship level standard.
I love that. They say how you do anything is how you do everything. How you act in a blowout win is how you're going to act in a blowout loss or close game.
And those things are something I think, unless you're inside the team, in the locker room, feeling the chemistry, you don't know the difference.
Mm-hmm.
But from the stands, you might be like, what's the big deal?
We're
up by 29
Why is he
points.
getting mad? Can he calm down?
Those are the kind of things that make championship teams.
On 4th and 1, that's when it matters.
Yep.
That's when it really matters, and that's when those things show up. All right, Jett.
We got some offensive guys.
We got some offensive guys. I know. Here we go.
Offense put up 33 points.
Come on now, shout them out.
We're not forgetting the offense.
We're not going to forget the offense.
Give me Sean Gaka.
Sean what?
TD catch. Running the ball tonight.
It's
art
beautiful.
The way Sean
it's
Gaka
beautiful.
runs
Actually,
the football.
he's actually going to be submitted to Lance. So next week, Sean Gaka is going to be the feature player in Good Comp, Bad Comp. So Lance, be watching out. Lance, prepare this time.
He makes dudes miss in the backfield.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
Should be a -2 yard run. He turns it into 8.
And what we talk about is you can't coach some of the stuff he does. It's just pure instincts. And so it's super fun to watch him play. Who else we got?
We got Lucas Young.
What? Come on. 80-20.
80-20.
Mr. 80-20 himself.
Mr. 80-20 also made a lot of great blocks again.
Yes, 100%.
Made a lot of big catches. They were getting first downs early in the game. Not every catch of his has to be a monster play.
Yes.
Wills Jackson, man. How about this
the tower, the big tower himself.
2 huge catches.
Massive.
He also had the third down conversion on a little hitch route in the third quarter.
Yes. Play that probably we used to think that Brewer called and Brewer saw. So the fact that Brewer had the confidence to go to him on third down.
Absolutely. Huge game for Wills Jackson. Give me Jay Flynn.
Give me Jay Flynn with a touchdown. Let's go, baby.
Great game for Jay Flynn. And, Jay Flynn's in the trenches a lot with those guys up front. So when we shout out the O-line, Jay Flynn is a part of that too.
100%. I think that's a great point because he blocks all the time and he doesn't get as much glory as those other wide receivers. And so it's really good to get Jay Flynn in the box tonight, okay?
I love it. Jalen Springs, first touchdown of the season.
First time TD scorer.
Great to see him get in the end zone. And give me the dogs up
front. The trenches, those hogs.
Last but certainly not least, nothing can happen on the offense without those guys up front.
Couldn't agree more. They are the most important, probably, unit out of all. Nothing works if they don't protect.
Shout out Sam. Shout out Durham.
Love those boys. Okay, I'm gonna put my suggestion in for the R Students of the Game Big Bad Breakfast Player of the Week prediction. Mr. Sean Gockett himself. Do you agree with that?
100%.
Okay,
we
good.
We didn't need to talk about it.
Okay, all right, good.
What he did, huge interception. I forgot to mention that. Huge interception. The way he gets this offense going with his run game, man, he just does so many great things.
And that showed when he was out of a couple games how it really affected our team. Can't wait for Summit to come to town next week. We'll have the preview episode, the walkthrough going. Before we cap on tonight, let's do it. Jett, let's get the pulse of the nation for the other Williamson County games. Say it with me on 3. 1, 2, 3. The lightning round. All right. Good stuff. We're going to start out with Brentwood 31, Summit nothing. Centennial, a close one with Springfield, beating them only 7-3. Father Ryan and a barn burner with NBA. They take the game 17-14. Page shuts out Coffee County 42-0. Spring Hill, I think it's their first win of the season, 26 to James Lawson's 9. And James Lawson's mascot's actually the Lightning, so this is good to be in the lightning round here. Macaulay takes it to BA 41-9. Fairview shuts out Cheatham County 43-0. Ravenwood shuts out Overton 48-0, and Beach beats Indy 28-7. Jett, any thoughts on those before we wrap up here this morning?
Not a lot of shockers, man.
All right,
I'm excited to see these district games
develops and the playoffs really start to form. Well, I can't wait for Summit next week. I can't wait. Super proud of the boys they play tonight. Statement victory. Can't wait to watch them come to town. And hopefully Summit doesn't do too much chirping before the game. Otherwise, these Franklin parents are going to let them hear it and hold them accountable. I wouldn't want Kim Young coming after me either. Okay, all right. So can't wait for next week. Y'all have a great rest of your Saturday morning. We appreciate you making us your home for Williamson County High School football.
Let's do it, baby.